John Tavares was a hockey prodigy as a kid. He was granted exceptional status to play in the OHL as a 14-year-old and has arguably gone on to have a Hall of Fame career in the NHL. But while Tavares was the undeniable first overall pick in the 2009 NHL draft, what about the 9 players drafted after him in the top 10? Did they live up to the lofty expectations of a top 10 selection in the NHL? And could any of them make a case to overtake Tavares as the first pick in a redraft? In today's video, we're taking a deep dive into the 9 players who were selected after Tavares in 2009 to see if they lived up to the hype. Let's dive in. Chosen 10th overall by the Edmonton Oilers. In his draft year, he played 50 games in Sweden's top league with Timrå IK, posting 7 goals and 17 points. After being selected, he returned to Timrå for one more season and improved his production, scoring 12 goals and 29 points in 49 games. Päivärinta made the jump to North America the following year, beginning his NHL career with the Oilers. There was genuine excitement in Edmonton at the time as he joined fellow rookies Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle, 3 young forwards expected to form the core of the franchise's future. His rookie campaign showed promise as he recorded 15 goals and 34 points in 80 games. Unfortunately, that rookie season proved to be the high watermark of his NHL career. He struggled badly out of the gate in 2011-12, managing just 2 goals in 41 games, before being sent down to the AHL's Oklahoma City Barons for the remainder of the season. During the lockout-shortened 2012-13 campaign, he returned to the Oilers for 42 games, but again had difficulty finding consistency, finishing with 7 goals and 16 points. That summer, Edmonton traded him to the St. Louis Blues, along with a second-round pick, in exchange for David Perron. Päivärinta spent parts of 5 seasons in the Blues organization before being claimed off waivers by the Ottawa Senators in January 2018. He closed out that season in Ottawa and played one more year there in 2018-19, which marked his final NHL appearance. Since then, he has continued his professional career in the KHL, splitting time between Lokomotiv Yaroslavl and Dynamo Moscow. While it may be harsh to call him a bust outright, his career totals of 62 goals and 124 points in 467 NHL games suggest the Oilers likely could have found greater value with the 10th overall pick. While the Ottawa Senators' decision to draft defenseman Jared Cowan 9th overall wasn't quite as regrettable as Dallas taking Scott Glennie, it's safe to say they would reconsider that selection in hindsight. The 6'5" blue liner spent his draft year with the WHL's Spokane Chiefs, putting up 21 points in 48 games. Cowan remained in Spokane for 2 additional seasons before earning a full-time role in Ottawa in 2011-12. As a rookie, he appeared in all 82 games, contributing 5 goals and 17 points, while averaging just under 19 minutes per night. He stayed with the Senators for 4 more seasons before being dealt to the Toronto Maple Leafs just prior to the 2016 trade deadline. His time in Toronto was brief and turbulent. Within weeks of the trade, the Maple Leafs assigned him to the minors and eventually sent him home with the intention of buying out his contract. Cowan missed the entire 2016-17 season while recovering from multiple injuries. He later signed a professional tryout with the Colorado Avalanche ahead of the 2017-18 campaign, but was released after a single preseason appearance and soon announced his retirement. Over the course of his NHL career, Cowan played 249 games, tallying 15 goals and 46 points. The first major bust of the 2009 NHL Draft arrived at 8th overall, when the Dallas Stars selected forward Scott Glennie. Playing alongside Braden Shen with the WHL's Brandon Wheat Kings in his draft year, Glennie posted an impressive 28 goals and 70 points in just 55 games. He remained in junior for 2 more seasons before making the jump to the professional ranks in 2011-12. Glennie's rookie pro season saw him skate in 70 games with the AHL's Texas Stars, where he recorded 12 goals and 37 points. While those numbers weren't eye-popping, they were respectable enough to earn him a brief NHL opportunity. He appeared in one game with Dallas that year, an appearance that, surprisingly, would stand as the only NHL game of his career. Over the next 3 seasons, Glennie stayed within the Stars organization, but struggled to elevate his offensive production at the AHL level. Injuries played a significant role in stalling his development, eventually forcing him to miss the entire 2015-16 season to recover. He resurfaced in 2016-17 with the Winnipeg Jets organization, suiting up for the Manitoba Moose, but again failed to generate much offensively. After that season, Glennie stepped away from professional hockey. He has since transitioned into the game in a different capacity, working as a player agent and video coach. It's hard to imagine now, but there was a stretch when it looked like the Toronto Maple Leafs might have missed on Nazem Kadri with the 7th overall pick in 2009. The skill was obvious. He had just posted 78 points in 56 games with the OHL's London Knights in his draft year, but his path to the NHL wasn't smooth. After returning to junior the following season, he spent most of the next 2 years developing with the Toronto Marlies in the AHL. Even though Kadri produced well in the minors, there were signs the organization was losing patience. Then general manager Brian Burke publicly suggested he was running out of chances, and ahead of the 2012-13 season, Marlies head coach Dallas Eakins criticized his conditioning, saying he arrived at camp out of shape. Because of the NHL lockout, Kadri started the 2012-13 campaign back in the AHL. But he ultimately played the full 48-game NHL season with the Leafs and broke out in a big way. His 44 points ranked second on the team behind Phil Kessel, silencing much of the criticism and re-establishing him as a key piece of Toronto's core. From there, he developed into a reliable two-way center before being dealt to the Colorado Avalanche in the summer of 2019. With Colorado, Kadri continued to provide strong all-around play, though questions about discipline in critical moments followed him, just as they did in Toronto. Still, there's no debating the career he has built. He captured the Stanley Cup with the Avalanche in 2022, then signed with the Calgary Flames that offseason. Through over 1,040 NHL games, Kadri has totaled over 315 goals and over 740 points. Far from a bust, and proof that early doubts don't always define a player's story. Because he spent the bulk of his prime in a non-traditional market with the Arizona Coyotes, Oliver Ekman-Larsson often flew under the radar despite being one of the league's most dynamic offensive defensemen in his early years. He was drafted after recording 17 points in 39 games as a rookie in Sweden's Hockey Allsvenskan, the country's second-tier pro league, and remained there for one more season before making the jump to the NHL in 2010-11. By his second season in Arizona, his offensive instincts were undeniable. He produced 13 goals and 32 points from the blue line, showcasing the skating and puck-moving ability that would define his game. Ekman-Larsson went on to spend 11 seasons with the Coyotes organization before being traded to the Vancouver Canucks. After Vancouver bought out his contract in 2023, he signed a one-year deal with the Florida Panthers and played a role in their 2024 Stanley Cup championship. Although his production has tapered off in recent seasons, Ekman-Larsson's body of work in Arizona was impressive, highlighted by consecutive 20-plus goal campaigns, an exceptional feat for a defenseman. Among blue liners drafted in 2009, his over 150 career goals rank second, and his over 530 points trail only Victor Hedman and Tyson Barrie. Now 34, he may not be at his peak, but there's still reason to believe he has productive seasons left in him with the Leafs. With the 5th overall pick in the 2009 NHL Draft, the Los Angeles Kings selected Brayden Schenn after a standout WHL season with the Brandon Wheat Kings, where he recorded 32 goals and 88 points in 70 games. Despite that production, Schenn barely saw NHL action in his first 2 years, appearing in just one game in 2009-10 and 8 more the following season before being returned to junior both times. Those 9 games with Los Angeles, where he registered 2 assists, would ultimately be his only appearances in a Kings uniform. In the summer of 2011, Schenn was included in a blockbuster deal that sent him, Wayne Simmons, and a second-round pick to the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for Mike Richards and Rob Bordson. He stepped into a regular role with Philadelphia the next season, playing 54 games and posting 12 goals and 18 points. Schenn spent 6 seasons with the Flyers and enjoyed his best campaign there in 2015-16, scoring 26 goals and 59 points in 80 games. He was traded again in the 2017 offseason, this time to the St. Louis Blues in exchange for Jori Lehtera, a 2017 first-round pick, and a conditional 2018 first-rounder. His first year in St. Louis proved to be the most productive of his career, as he tallied 28 goals and 70 points over 82 games. Now 34, Schenn remains with the Blues and is midway through an 8-year, $52 million contract. Like several others taken near the top of that draft, he has justified his selection, compiling over 285 goals and over 700 points across 1,070 NHL games. Evander Kane is another notable name from the 2009 draft class who has changed teams several times over the course of his career. Selected 4th overall by the Atlanta Thrashers, Kane entered the draft after a dominant season with the WHL's Vancouver Giants, where he piled up 48 goals and 96 points in 61 games, establishing himself as one of the most dangerous scorers in junior hockey. Like many top picks from that year, Kane made the jump to the NHL immediately. As a rookie, he appeared in 66 games, registering 14 goals and 26 points, while also racking up 62 penalty minutes, hinting at the physical edge that would become part of his identity. He played one more season in Atlanta before the franchise relocated to Winnipeg in 2011. Over 6 total seasons with the organization, his best campaign came in 2011-12, when he recorded 30 goals and 57 points. Kane's time with the Jets was marked by both strong offensive production and reported tensions with teammates, along with off-ice controversies. Those issues culminated in a trade to the Buffalo Sabres during the 2014-15 season. After parts of 3 seasons in Buffalo, he was moved again, this time to the San Jose Sharks ahead of the 2018 trade deadline. In San Jose, Kane remained productive, even leading the team in scoring with 49 points during the 2020-21 season. However, the 2021 offseason brought renewed controversy when the league investigated allegations from his wife that he had bet on his own games. Amid the turmoil, he was ultimately traded to the Edmonton Oilers during the 2021-22 season. Despite the distractions that have followed him throughout his career, Kane has put together strong offensive numbers, totaling over 330 goals and over 640 points in roughly 980 games. Following the 2024-25 campaign, the Oilers dealt him to the Vancouver Canucks, adding yet another chapter to his eventful NHL journey. Holding the 3rd pick in the 2009 NHL Draft, the Colorado Avalanche chose Matt Duchene from the OHL's Brampton Battalion, now known as the North Bay Battalion. Coming off a strong draft year in which he produced 31 goals and 79 points in 57 games, Duchene stepped straight into the NHL the following season, much like the other elite prospects from that class. He made an immediate impact. As a rookie in 2009-10, Duchene posted 24 goals and 55 points in 81 games, showcasing the explosive skating and offensive creativity that made him such a coveted prospect. Over 9 seasons in Colorado, he consistently displayed top-end talent, though his play occasionally fluctuated from year to year. During the 2017 offseason, with the Avalanche struggling, Duchene asked for a trade. He was moved early in the 2017-18 season to the Ottawa Senators, where he thrived offensively, including a 58-point performance in just 50 games the following year, before being dealt again to the Columbus Blue Jackets at the 2019 trade deadline. In the summer of 2019, Duchesne signed a 7-year, $56 million contract with the Nashville Predators. Although his first 2 seasons there fell short of expectations, he delivered a major bounce-back campaign in 2021-22, scoring a career-high 43 goals and 86 points in 78 games. After Nashville bought out his contract following the 2022-23 season, he moved on to the Dallas Stars. With over 900 points in roughly 1,170 career games, Duchesne has clearly lived up to his billing as a 3rd overall selection. And finally, one pick after John Tavares, Victor Hedman. If any player from the 2009 draft class has a strong argument for being selected ahead of John Tavares, it's Victor Hedman. The Tampa Bay Lightning used the 2nd overall pick on the Swedish defenseman after he produced 7 goals and 21 points in 43 games in the Swedish Elite League during his draft year. Impressive numbers for a teenager competing against grown professionals. Hedman transitioned to the NHL the following season and delivered a steady rookie performance with 20 points in 74 games. Though his first few years were more steady than spectacular, he truly broke out in 2014-15 with a then career best 55 points. From that point forward, he established himself as one of the premier two-way defensemen in the league. He earned the Norris Trophy in 2017-18 and captured the Conn Smythe Trophy in 2020 after anchoring Tampa Bay's Stanley Cup run. His peak offensive season came in 2016-17 when he recorded 72 points in 79 games. But Hedman's impact goes well beyond scoring. Standing 6'6" with exceptional mobility and defensive intelligence, he has been widely regarded as the NHL's top all-around blue liner for much of his career. In over 1,150 games, he has amassed over 170 goals and over 800 points, playing a pivotal role in the Lightning's consecutive Stanley Cup championships. With a resume like his, Hall of Fame induction appears all but inevitable. And there you have it. Those are the 9 players drafted after John Tavares in the top 10 of the 2009 NHL Draft. So, how would you redraft the top 10 in 2009? Do these players stay in the top 10? Or were there some sleepers outside the top 10 who would sneak in? Let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for more videos.